Hi, my friend, it's Pat Sloan here. First, let's do the challenge from yesterday, because yesterday I was talking about fabric for the Happy Everything Sew Along. I also want to talk about memorial quilts for the 20th anniversary of 9/11, which is today. I have some of your surprise blocks from Summer Soiree I want to show you because they are just so cool and interesting. Then I have a little mail call, and hopefully we'll get to one other thing. So challenge today is to, if you've got that UFO that you pulled out, make your commitment this week to what day you're going to work on it. Decide what day, because I think that gets away from us. We go like, oh yeah, I'm going to work on it this week, but it ends up the week goes along, it doesn't happen. So if you are a scheduler or a planner, write it down. Like on Tuesday night, I'm going to work on the binding for that UFO. Or, Wednesday morning before I go to work or before I go to my, commitments, before I do the commitments I have for Wednesday morning, I am going to work for 30 minutes. Like try to pick 30 minutes or longer if you can. And it's a great way to put yourself first in the priority list to get those things done, because if we don't actually schedule them, they often just don't happen. I'd like to talk just a minute about memorial quilts. Many of you have made them. It's like one of those things that I've just never made. I don't know why. I've thought about them quite a bit. With 20 years ago of 9/11 happening today, it's one of those days where we all reflect on where we were, how we felt, what happened, remember those that are lost. Personally, I live just not that far from the Pentagon that was hit. And so when the plane that hit the Pentagon left from the airport, that's just 2 exits from my house. And so it was a bit chaotic that day. Also, I had family out of the country. So it was very hard to get hold of them. The phone lines, took like 2 days, I think, before we were able to connect and get hold of them. There was no text messaging, Facebook, there was just not a lot of stuff available to us to communicate yet. But memorial quilts, that's my story. And you can leave your story below. I think it helps sometimes on anniversaries. But if you have a memorial quilt, a quilt that you made in memory of somebody, in memory of an event, and it doesn't have to be a sad event, it can be a happy event. But I think memorial quilts, memory quilts, are such good ways for us as quilt makers to put our emotions out there. It's something that I think the next time that I have like that small inkling, I might want to make a quilt about this, I'm going to act on it, because I've had those, but it just never, it's like putting that on the list, right? Just never got on the list, so it didn't happen. But I'm going to keep that in the back of my mind so that when it does next time, I'm going to work on that thought. All right, let's switch gears. And I want to see, and I want to show you rather, some of the surprise blocks that you have done. These were shown in my Facebook group, Quilt Along with Pat Sloan, which is a public group, and you can go and visit it as a visitor if you're not on Facebook, so anybody can see these. And I have a list. I'll get this a little closer so I can see the names as I pop the pictures up. Okay, so here we go. I've got from Brenda, and she used half square triangles that she had. Now, all of hers were in 2 different colors. They were left over, I think, from a different block. That is a cool way that you could do the whole quilt with leftover half square triangles from any project, and then use a background that holds the whole thing together. And then they could just sparkle all across the quilt. Cindy approached it by using 3 different fabrics in the background. So it gives that sort of patchworky look to it, instead of having all the same fabric as the background. Diane's, I just love this. She has navy and aqua stars. So, I mean, navy and aqua triangles. So there's all the triangles are the same, 2 different colors. And then she framed them in darks and lights purples. So it just has so much movement. Another one that would be so interesting to see is a full quilt. Jennifer has this really great print. It's not a big bold print, but you can see the print has like a little floral that does have a little pop of like, looks like a white or a cream. And then what she did in order to be able to see the triangles, they are all and look like, nearly solids, and they are very distinct, so they don't blend away into that background. Now you all have really cool fabrics like Carla's paint splatter fabric. You know, these are those fabrics that have, they're a light background maybe usually, and they have a lot of texture to them on it, and anything like that would be super cool in the background. So you can see what hers looks like. All right, put on your, pull your socks up, hold on tight. Mary has got poppin' colors here with this hot pink and orange. I am just in love with all of her blocks, which I'm going to show you next. But what she has is she used the hot pink as the background and then all the orange triangles, and then a look at all her blocks together. All her blocks together are just spectacular. So Mary, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for everybody for sharing your blocks. And the last one I'm going to show you is Kimberly at the Fat Quarter Shop. She's sewing along and using the Halloween kitty fabric that has a, you know, it's very light, very pastel-y. And what she's doing, Kimberly is also making all her blocks a bit smaller. So she's actually redrafted them. But for this one, she just made less units so that she got it down to the size that she needed. So I thought that was really clever. All right, since we're talking about the summer soiree, when I did my block, I had one extra piece that I showed you so I could show you what one unit looks like. Well, I put it into the crumb block. So there it is. So here is that extra unit, and I just built a crumb block around it. Pretty excited about that. And I have one other crumb block that's almost done from the last time I showed you crumb blocks. I'm now, I think, up to maybe 65 crumb blocks plus other things, lots of other things so far this year. So those two are sitting there. Let me do the mail call. Got some fun mail, heavy mail. First, let me show you the one that's not heavy. This came from Mary, and she was doing some shopping and saw this donut Halloween fabric. Oh my goodness, donuts! Look at that. So if you are one of the people who joins me in the mornings to watch this, when we have the live chat available, which is at 7 a.m. Eastern time, my time, we have a big thing about sharing coffee and donuts with each other. We also have people come on in the morning who are in different time zones because they're coming from Europe, which is about in the afternoon. And then we have a whole group that comes and joins us from Australia just before they go to bed. So if you are able to join us at that time, I'd love to chat with you. So we get on about 7 until the end of the video. So Mary sent me this one, the donuts. Donuts are perfect. Now I want Halloween donuts. I need Halloween donuts. Okay, the other wonderful conversation we had is I have a kitchen group, Kitchen Adventure. So it's cooking. You know, we share recipes, people ask questions about, they share what they made. And it's just another way. We all eat, we all have food, we all need ideas. And especially during the pandemic when maybe a lot of us weren't even doing takeout. So, you know, you got tired of cooking every single day. So this is from Kathy. And Kathy just lives one state over from me, so they didn't have to travel very far. But you know how that goes. Sometimes your package goes cross country before it comes back to the state next door. So we've been talking about Cowboy candy because I was watching Laura at the Garden Answer, and she had grown jalapenos, and she did a video, made Cowboy candy. So I was like, I had never heard of that, and so I asked in the kitchen group if anybody had heard or made it, and some of you had, and some of you had never tried it, but you were interested in trying it because you did canning. It's a canned thing. So Kathy made these for me. Here is the Cowboy candy, which is, I guess, somewhat hot from the jalapenos, and she said these seem to be pretty hot jalapenos. And then it has a syrup, so you would mix it up with the syrup. So I'm excited to try that. It's it's like the hot part. It's like I don't know how hot it's going to be, but we'll see. I will let you know. Okay, the last thing I want to show you is I've shown you some of the So Colorful. Fat Quarter Shop does a lot of different bundles you can get in these different clubs, and this is the So Colorful club from the Fat Quarter Shop. And I need to get some green fabric, and I thought, oh yes, I've got this package and I haven't opened it yet because I haven't shown it to you. So I am going to open it now and take a look. They always give you for the club. There you get all the colorways, and luckily if you need green, there are some green bundles still left, and the link is below in the description box, and there are also some two other colors that they still have a few of them left. So even though they do a subscription, they do make a few extra. So I am delighted to have some green because I need to do a project with some green, and it's nice to have some other options. There we go. This is neat. I like this great big dot. Okay, and I think this is probably a K facet, or this looks it looks like they're buttons. Do you think that looks like buttons? I think it is. I think those are buttons. This nice tonal, tone on tone, really, really good for different things. A stripe, gotta love a stripe. And a huge big flower. Oh my goodness, that's gorgeous. That might be another cave. Here's a nice little X. I think this is Lori Holtz. And here's these little darling little bees. I was working with those in a bundle. I think they're Corey Yoder. Oh my goodness, there's airplanes on a grid for that one. And another shade of the green with the little X's. These are really awesome basics. Now here we go to a lighter, so sort of a more celery color. And these two are similar celery, and then you get a lighter, and then a lighter, and then word text. I just love the word text. Oh, there's one more back there, and a gingham. So what does the word say? Joy, sunshine, love, home. That's beautiful. And then here's the a gingham back there. Really nice. Awesome to have all of these different shades, because sometimes you just need the right shade of green. All right, my friend, I'd love to see a memorial quilt or memory quilt that you have done. So if you want to show it over at Quilt Along with Pat Sloan, you can show it even if you're a visitor. You could also just tell me about it here in the comments at YouTube. I would love to hear. And if you'd like to share any memories of 9/11, I'd love to read them. So I love you, my friend. I'll see you online. Mwah!